Every year, lives are lost in swift water and in lakes. Today, we're talking with the experts. We're here at the Denison Fire Department to speak with their swiftwater rescue and dive team. Welcome back, Grayson County, to the Behind the Badge podcast. And today, as you can tell, we're on the road again. We're at the Denison Fire Department. And so we're here today talking with, like I said, the experts in swiftwater rescue and diving. Now, these individuals work here at the fire department, so I'll let you introduce yourself.
I'm Austin Lehman. I've been with Denison for 6 years and been part of the swiftwater team for 3.
Okay. And Micah?
I'm Micah Darty. I've been with Denison for 21 years and part of the dive team for about 8. I've run it for the last 4.
Awesome. And so we thought we would come today and bring a little bit of information about what these gentlemen do to keep people safe when there's an emergency like that. And especially, because Labor Day is right around the corner and, that happens. Plus, it's always a possibility of a flood here in Grayson County. So let's look at the big picture here. Now, the Denison Fire Department is one of the few, if not only, swiftwater rescue and dive teams in Grayson County.
I believe we're the only ones that have both, possibly the only ones that have either one in Grayson County.
And so how long has that been going on here?
The swiftwater team started about 18, 19 years ago. We had a pretty bad flood in Sherman, Denison area and had some people that needed to be rescued, and we just kind of did it without the proper training. And then after that, we went on and got the proper training. The dive team's been around about 11, 12 maybe, something like that. It was a similar situation. There was a drowning at Waterloo Lake, and the family had to wait on somebody to come in from the game warden office and their closest divers to us are in Waco.
Oh, wow.
So they had to wait, usually about 6 to 8 hours or possibly a day, depending on what time it goes out. And so after that, same type thing as we put together a team, and we've been going strong ever since.
Awesome. And that's the thing, a lot of times these very specific taskings or tools, they don't get used a lot. But, it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And, just like what you said, with the dive situation where you've got a family that's having to wait extended hours in a situation where time matters, right? And so having that, when we were earlier, we were on a walk around the station here at Central, and there's a lot of photography pictures from, older photos through the years. And I noticed a rescue boat, and it looked like just a John boat.
Yeah, our dive boat is basically just an oversized John boat. It's a 24-foot long Sea Arc that's 72-inch wide bottom, but it's got the sonar capabilities that we can pretty much pick up anything from, say, that ice chest or the spare tire size and bigger up to about 35, 40 feet deep.
Oh, wow. So, Austin, question.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people probably really don't understand the technical side of this, right? Like when they think about, well, it's just getting in a boat, right? I'm sure there's a lot of training and skill that goes into this on your part to be a part of these teams. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, certainly. So the Fast 1 course is what all of our guys are certified in that are part of the swiftwater team. It's a 3-day class. It's 3 full days of being in the river, and we go down to New Braunfels and have a setup down there where you can have fast-moving water, shallow water crossings and things like that. Then you also have a night ops course that you have to do that's 4 to 5 hours long usually, depending on how quick you can get all your skills done. But the process of it, it's a long, about 8 to 12 hour days for 3 days straight,
Oh, wow.
just for the basic Fast 1 certification. There's a boat op certification that's an additional 2 days that several of our guys have, not everybody yet. And then there's a Fast 2, which we're working on getting that as well. On the training, we do quarterly training. We can go out to the lake and deploy off the boat, do boat deployments, do throw bags, and just the things that we would use in active rescue. We can do that and simulate it to an extent with our own guys just floating in the water or something of that nature.
Wow, and that's a lot. Especially you're talking about that much extended time, and I'm sure you're practically in the water the whole time to
Yes.
one extent or another. Man, and so thinking about is that just a one-time thing, or is this a deal where you have to get recertified?
So your certification, I believe, is good for 2 to 3 years. So you have to do a refresher course, if not just do the whole course again. We have 5 guys here that are certified to instruct that course. And we
That's
went
good.
down last year and got those 5 guys certified. So now we can do all that training in-house with our own guys teaching our guys.
And so that
So it keeps it where we can set up classes and keep their certifications easier,
and making it probably a little more cost effective,
a whole lot more cost effective.
saving the city money.
Yes, sir.
Essentially, yeah. And plus, that allows you probably just to be able to do trainings more regularly just on your own.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. So training is one thing, but there's a lot that goes into that. We've talked about, but tools and equipment. Now that's probably something completely different, like a whole new set of problems. All the tools and specialized equipment that goes along with these tasks. We can see some of this right here behind us. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the specialized equipment that Denison Fire has?
Yeah. So on the Swiftwater side, we've got 2 actual Swiftwater boats. One has a 40-horse rescue motor on it, which the prop is actually covered, so you can't get hands or feet or anybody in it and cause any damage that way. Or if you're in shallow water, it's not going to damage the prop by hitting rocks or anything of that like that. We have the other one. We're in the process of getting a motor for it, just so we can have 2 boats on both sides of town. We have PFDs that are specialized for water rescue. They have certain attachments that you can use. Our wetsuits, you have to wear a wetsuit for anything in the water, oils or anything like that that could cause you harm. It'll help protect you with that, and debris in the water.
Yeah.
Just another barrier. Our throw bags, if you're not in the water, you can actually throw a rope out to the victim and they can catch it and you can pull them in that way. They're 50 to 75 foot depending on which one you grab. So that's just a couple of the things that we would use on a Swiftwater side for a rescue.
And a PFD, you mentioned that. What is that?
It's a life jacket
Okay.
that you would use, just a personal flotation device.
Okay. And that's to be something that y'all would wear while you're on the
Yes,
boat.
sir. Anytime, any Swiftwater activity, if you're on the shore, anywhere close to the water, you're going to be in a PFD and a helmet.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Because the odds, water constantly changes, so it could hurry up and raise, or you could slip and fall in, and then you're another victim. So if you have a PFD on, it would help yourself be able to self-extricate versus just floating down the water with no life jacket or anything.
And just adding to the problem, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah. And so on the dive side, what are we looking at there? I'm sure there's a lot.
Yeah, Jeremy, so like we talked about earlier with the boat, we have that 24-foot boat that has the sonar system on it and the side imaging, and you can see stuff, like we said, 35, 40 feet deep very clearly. We have to search a little bit longer if it's deeper than that, or even call in the game wardens with what they have that's called a tow fish, to where you actually tow the transducer behind the boat at a lower depth. That way you're still seeing the same picture. And then we have, I've got 7 divers for the fire side right now. Plus, we also integrate 3 divers from Denison Police Department that assist us, or we assist them, depending on what it is. They specialize in like criminal investigation, diving, or evidence recovery.
Oh, wow.
But they do assist us in recovery operations for personnel as well. But each diver has a BCD, which is basically like your underwater flotation device, and it is capable of having air put in it or air let out of it, depending on it, and it keeps you buoyant at whatever level you're at underwater. It also carries weights because sometimes it's actually hard to get down, believe it or not. Tank regulators, we also have wetsuits. They're a little bit different, but they're very similar. We have multiple different wetsuits for depending on what time of year it is, and we also have dry suits that will actually keep you completely dry underwater. We did our dry suit certification a couple of years ago, and it was 38 degrees outside. The water temperature, I believe, was in the low 50s. And other than you have like one spot on your center of your forehead, and maybe a spot on the back of your neck that was just barely exposed and you could feel it, but other than that, you were comfortable. There's actually a fleece liner that goes in it you can wear.
Oh, wow.
So your body is completely comfortable at that temperature. All that stuff, we just use what we need depending on the situation.
Depending on the situation. And, you know, you think about yes, those things are probably not cheap, right? They cost a fair amount.
For one of my guys, you're probably looking at, with all the different wetsuits, dry suit, full face mask, regulator setup, in the $6,000 to $7,000 range.
Yeah. But again, you go back to, you know, what are we using this for? We're using this in an extreme emergency where someone, you know, is their life is in danger, and, you know, what is the price tag on that? And, you know, you can't do that. And so now, you know, you think about the equipment, you think about the equipment that, you know, the personal equipment, the other large pieces of equipment, the training. This is an investment that the fire department has made. It's in the community. It's an investment in the community to help keep the community safe. So, without giving anything, you know, confidential away or you know, giving out too much information, right? Is there any like real world experience that either one of you want to share?
Yeah, so not long after we came back from actual swiftwater training, getting some guys certified, we've had 2 to 3 actual rescues in the Red River. We've had 1 boat capsize with 3 or 4 people that ended up in the water at night one night, and then we've had some people fall in. Then we've had some people out in the lake actually get called in that there was 4 people floating in the water, no boat in sight. So we've been out there as well. But it's just, you never know when it's going to happen.
Yeah. So. And, you know, Grayson County, Denison, you know, specifically, but Grayson County, there's a lot of, you know, bodies of water around here. You mentioned the Red River, but then also, you know, you've got not just Lake Texoma, but Waterloo and Loy Lake and Lake Randall. So,
Bodart Creek. I mean,
yeah.
Grayson County has a lot of areas with big water in it.
Yeah. So, with all of these different bodies of water and places for people to go around Grayson County, any, you know, public safety recommendations that you could give to the public, the viewers, and just be like, hey, you know, if you're going to be around, think about these things, or, you know, something.
Yeah, of course. The big one's life jackets. I know everybody preaches that, but it's true. Unfortunately, on the dive side, other than assisting Austin with a few rescues, most of our stuff is actually a recovery. That's the truth of it. It's terrible to say that, but we very rarely on the dive side get to rescue somebody. Life jackets, even if you can swim, unless you are, you know, right there at the beach and you're you are swimming, that's what you're in. If you're going across the lake in a boat or something, because you never know what can happen. If you do fall out and you hit your head, well, you can't swim while you're unconscious. Life jackets is great. Kill switch in a boat. You don't want, even if you are thrown out with a life jacket, you don't want the boat coming back around and running over you. And then, just be cognizant of what's going on anytime you're around the water, because if you do go under and get caught in something or whatever, you can't breathe water.
Yeah.
It's not like getting caught up out here. If you get caught up in this trailer, you can sit there and breathe and wait on somebody to come get you, but you can't do that underwater.
Yeah.
Do not drive through water. If it's been raining, it takes approximately 6 inches of water to move a small vehicle. So you never know if the road's going to give away either. You don't know how much water is actually moving. So turn around. Don't drive through it. That's the best piece of advice I can give you. If you do find yourself trapped in the middle of water in a vehicle and your vehicle stalled, call 911. Don't sit there and be strapped in, because if the car gets swept away and you're strapped inside, you're along for the ride and it'll be harder to rescue you.
So essentially, turn around, don't drown, right? Everybody says that, but it's how often do we see that, vehicles getting submerged in water, or people, the water gets up a little high and then they panic. And yeah, if the water's moving, like don't drive through it. So this has been incredibly informative, I'm sure, for our Grayson County viewers. Thank you both so much for taking a little bit of time this morning to come and talk to us about these two different operations that Denison Fire Department does for the public, and just also knowing that you're not just like, well, this is just for Denison, because I know that you guys will go anywhere to help out.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We respond, I'd say regionally. I don't know that it's specific to that, but we have responded. Most of Lake Texoma is in Oklahoma, so most of the time we respond for dive stuff is we're actually in Oklahoma. We've been Gainesville to Bonham, and we helped in Sherman quite a bit.
Yeah, it's such a necessary thing, especially up here in North Texas, with, like I said, with all the bodies of water. So, again, Grayson County, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Know that you can always find us here on Thursdays at 9 a.m. And as always, Grayson County, stay safe.